Hello, it's Vince or Pop from Digi. Today we're going to teach you one of the simplest recipes there is that's really delicious and can really, people are going to love it. This recipe started probably about 40 years ago. Jane's mom, Bobby, Antoinette was her name. Whenever she made pork chops, she would grill them on both sides. And after they got nice and brown, she would add a little liquid and put a cover on the tray to sauce it up, to soften up the chops, the loin chops, because they're kind of tough and it was delicious. About 20 or 25 years ago, one of Jane's cousins, Jim, and his wife, taught us a recipe called Chicken Pepperoncini. And that's a recipe I'll share with you. And it's a recipe made with nothing but chicken and pepperoncini and the juice from the pepperoncini. So knowing my mother-in-law used to put water in and steam them, we decided to take pork butt because to me, pork has to have some fat in it to have taste. And we got sweet cherry peppers, manzetta, which has been around since I'm a kid. And we made a recipe of just two ingredients, pork butt and sweet cherry peppers. You can use hot cherry peppers. That's the ingredients, and the taste is really going to blow your mind. The manzetta has a lot of salt in it. Let's see. No, not too bad. Well, it's 10 servings, 340 milligrams, so it's 3,000 milligrams of salt. If you have a salt-restricted diet, this stuff is basically vinegar, but there's a lot of salt in it. You can use red vinegar or apple vinegar and chicken stock and come up with a similar taste. Don't use the juice, use the cherry peppers. And it would be less salt, but this is how we made the meal originally. And I'd like to show you the recipe, which is really cool and easy. The first thing, sorry, forgot a dish. You've got to remember we're new at this, so we're going to be getting things. Is basically to open up the peppers. Wow. There you go. Break the seal. Once you break the seal, and just dump the juice in a container, in a dish. And just put that aside. The other thing I do for simplicity, I don't like the salt and pepper stuff actually in the container that the meat comes in. So I take it out and I open these up a little. This is 3 pounds, 2.88 pounds. This could feed 4 normal people, 3 very hungry people. But I'm going to salt and pepper this. I should have got the salt and pepper before. I'm not used to this movie stuff yet. I'm just used to cooking. A little. We used a little, especially since there's a lot of salt. Some pepper. You could turn it over and do it again, which I'll do. But what I'll do next is I'll bring you over to the stove because all we're going to do is we're going to brown this on a high heat. On a middle to high heat because you want the pork not to burn but to leave bits in the pan because that's where the deep flavor of the sauce is going to come from the juice. So I'm going to take you over. You might have to learn to play with your stove. I use all-clad pots. I've been using them for about 30 years. And I'm going to show you on a stove how to brown it to get those bits in and how easy this is to make. I'm at the stove. My stove goes from 0 to 8. 4 is medium heat, and of course 5, 6, and 7 would be heading up towards a medium high heat. I try to do it at 6, but you got to watch it. And like I said, you're going to fry these, and then you're going to put the juice in, cover the pot, and let it cook. So I have olive oil and rapeseed oil in here. Takes a high heat. You can use sunflower oil, safflower oil, corn oil, canola oil, which I have all of. I want this to get hot because I want it to sizzle. And you want to leave bits, and that's why I have the camera closed, because I want you to see the bits. I try to put it on 6, which is 3/4 of the way up. So it's on medium-high heat. Because if you cook at a lower temperature, it will not get those bits. And that's where that deep, rich flavor comes. And you'll see that in a couple of seconds. It's not hot enough yet. Hope you don't mind waiting. Vinny can cut some of this out. The peppers are still in the jar, and while this is braising, I will. My wife usually does it, but Grandma does it, but I'll do it. I'll take the cherry peppers off. We used to put the cherry peppers in after we browned the meat, dumped the oil, and put the juice from the cherry peppers in, and dig up the bits, and we used to put the meat back in and the peppers, but they become too soft. So what we'll do is we'll braise this for about an hour, and then we'll put the peppers in, and we'll take the seeds out and everything. Nope, not yet. The other thing is, instead of putting it on to cook for an hour and a half, you need to cook it, because sometimes the juice will cook out, and you don't want that to happen. So I usually do it on 30-minute intervals and watch it. And what I add to it is chicken stock. If it starts by having the flame too high, it's something you have to learn to play with. But let's see how these are. Yeah, this is one. So you can hear that noise. Yeah, stuck it in. I just want to move them up a little so I get the last of them. There we go. And then I put this little cover on, so Grandma's give PO to Grandpa for making a complete mess of the stove. Although the stove usually does become messy. What I usually do is once I put it in, I time it for 5 minutes. And I let it cook for 5 minutes. I warmed it on 6, just below 6. It'll get brown, but it won't burn. What you have to do is learn your stove, but it's not really difficult. If it was something that you could cook slowly and not worry about a high bit to get those bits in the pan and get the taste and a rich brown gravy, believe it or not, then you could put it on the lower and not watch it. So let's wait for 5 minutes and we'll show you what we have. We have about 20 seconds left for the first 5 minutes. I'm making these today because our grandson flew in today. The first thing he said was, Pop, could you make pork and pepper? So I figured I'd film it. That has a light brown crust on it. That's going to have more because it's closer to the center. Cover it again. Set the timer for 5 minutes. And let it brown. Do the second time. I do more than 2 sides because I want it to stick. So I keep turning it. Maybe I'll do all 4 sides. Let's let that cook and we'll come back and turn them again. The second 5 minutes is almost up. I'll turn the timer off just so it rains. I don't know if you can see. Turn that way. Then I've done it 5 minutes on 2 sides. I'll change it to 3 minutes. So that was 2 5-minute turns, 1 3-minute turn, and then I'll turn it again on the last side for another 3 minutes. After that, you dump out the oil, and you'll see the bits left in the pan. And you do dump out the oil, so the fact you're getting this from the pork itself, not the oil you added to really put a crust on the pork. I have the juice here from sweet cherry peppers. You can use hot, ready to go in. I have low salt chicken broth. It happens to be organic. I would buy regular, but Fry sells these for $1.99. Low salt, they're excellent. I'll turn the timer off. Turn them one more time. See that nice crust? Okay, the last 3-minute turn. You can see how nice and crispy they are. Put the top back on and time them again for 3 minutes. When I was younger, I didn't time things. I just did by eye, but now it's easier for me to put the timer on. That way I don't get lost in something else and forget about it and overcook it. Not that you can overcook things. What I'm going to do, the last 3 minutes when it's done, I'll put this in the sink. I'll put the meat in this dish. I'll take the oil, pour it in a bowl so I can throw it away when it congeals. Then I'm going to add the juice in and use a wooden spoon to dig up the bits into the clear broth. You're going to notice that the clear broth will start to turn a light color brown in the pan. I'll be back in about 2 minutes. 3 minutes is almost up. You will also notice when you take the pork and put it in the dish, by the time you put the liquid from the peppers in and stir it, you're going to get some nice pork juice in here too, and that should all go back in. I'm going to turn the timer off so it doesn't beep. Put it in the spoon. And now we'll place these in the dish. Oh, whoa! Yeah, well, oopsies. And what I'm going to take this oil, pour it in the dish, and now you can see the bits. See those little brown guys? Watch. It's going to steam. Then you use your spoon, and you actually want to bring those bits up. You want to make sure you get all of them, and as you get them up, you'll notice that the sauce will go from clear to brown. Lower it a little. Even if you can't see them, you'll know because the bottom of the pan will have no resistance. You can even see some of the bits. But you notice it was clear and now it has that light brown color to it. Put your pork back in. I like to put the thickest pieces towards the middle. Push them in there together. And as you can see, the pork juice in the dish, you want to pour all that in. I like to use a little spatula to get as much as I can because that's nothing but pork juice. And of course a little fat, but that gives it its taste. As you can see, there's about, I'm going to put a little stock in just to give it a little more juice. Put this away. Put this in the sink. Put the heat up because I want it to come to almost a little boil or start to simmer. See it's starting to bubble. Put the top of the pan on. Right now it's still on high, but when the top of the pan gets hot, which it is, I'll lower it down to the lower side of simmer. I'll set the timer for 20 minutes. And I'll walk away. I come back in 20 minutes basically just to make sure the temperature is not too high and that there's still sauce in the pan. If you open it up and the level is still good and it's simmering away, fine, put it on for another 20 minutes. If you notice that you see some of the liquid coming out, just pour some chicken stock in. So first 20 minutes, we'll show you what it looks like, even though we'll be finished cooking in 20 minutes. The alarm just went off for 20 minutes. It's bubbling. Put the top back on. It's got plenty of juice. I've taken the seeds and the stems out of the peppers. It's cooked for 20 minutes. I'm going to time it for another 20. Hit start. And when we come back, it'll be 40 minutes in. Okay, this is the second 20 minutes. Usually flip them over at that time. You start to feel how tender they are. See how nice and brown the gravy is. And let's put it on for another 20 minutes. If you know how your stove works, you can put it on for 45 minutes and then turn them over, put it on for another 20, 25 minutes, open it up, throw the peppers in, 20 minutes, an hour and a half, they're done. So this will make it an hour, and when I cover it next time, I'll throw the peppers in and then we'll plate it. Pork and cherry peppers. Okay, the alarm went off. It's been an hour now. What are the odds of that? Still have a nice brown sauce, as you can see. I think I'll put in a little more chicken stock. for the last 20 minutes. Throw the peppers in. Put the cover back on for the last 4 minutes. And when you come back, we'll take it off and plate it. Okay. Last 20 minutes. Whoa. Pothole. These things are 30 years old. Meal is done. I've chopped a little parsley. If you want parsley to stay much longer, wrap it in a paper towel, then put it in a plastic bag. It'll last 3 times as long as if you just put it in the fridge or in the vegetable container. You want to add a little color, put a little parsley. It's not going to change the taste that much. And I'm going to take this over to the counter and plate it and taste it. Okay. The pork is just falling apart. I don't know if you can tell. Let me get it. Let me get a spatula because I don't want to waste any of this. Well, pork and peppers. Pork and cherry peppers, pork and hot peppers. Probably about 20 minutes prep time. An hour and 20 minutes, an hour and a half cook time. And it's really a simple meal. Whoops. Sorry. My grandson's going to be thrilled. He's outside. I could probably feed 4 adults that eat normally. 3 people for a hearty meal and 2 people if you're really hungry. It's one of a few recipes I know you just need 2 ingredients. It's pork butt. It was $2.99 a pound cut up. You could buy a whole boneless pork butt when it goes on sale for $1.99. You can cut some off slim for brajos, which I'll show you on another day. And you can make some into little meat ribs like those were and cook them. This is great ahead of time. Hi, Mike, it's done. It's great made ahead of time. Put it in the fridge. People come, warm it up. It's really good, and I think you'd really like it. So, pork and peppers did you eat? This is Pop. Within the next 2 days, it's Easter. We're going to teach you how to make homemade manago. A little more difficult, just making the crepes. Jaden's very good at it. Um, and I think you'll like that. So that's going to come in a couple of days. So hope you enjoy. No garlic, no onions, a little salt and pepper on the pork if I can do without the salt. And just put some pepper because you got the salt from the juice from the cherry peppers. And did you eat? Enjoy. Have a good day. Bye.